For more on this stop-and-go situation, we speak to Dr. Corne Mulder, who speaks for the City of Tshwane multi-party coalition. Dr. Mulder, a pleasure to have you on the program this evening. Now, today's proceedings in council have been lengthy, with one adjournment after another. Firstly, talk us through the event, and why has the DA-led coalition, of whom you form a part of, why leave the meeting?
Let me just correct that one point of departure. We don't have any DA-led coalitions. If you look at the coalition agreements, we feel all very strongly that they are multi-party coalitions and not led by any political party, and the DA agrees with that. You would have heard Mr. Siljebrink also now refer to the multi-party coalition. But be that as it may, now the fact of the matter is there is an attempt to, we've all heard the word state capture. There's an attempt at the moment of capital capture. In other words, to try and capture the capital of South Africa, the city of Tshwane, and to nullify the election result of November 2021. And this is being led by the ANC with the support of the EFF. I'm a bit astounded. You know, the EFF is going on a march on Monday to do what? To force the president out of office. The ANC is doing exactly the same in Tshwane today, and we've just heard the Secretary General of the ANC indicating that they want to do the same in Kibega. Exactly the same, to force people out of office. So we are not going to play that little game with the ANC and the EFF. The fact of the matter is that the 5 parties in the coalition in the city of Tshwane have a majority. That majority they obtained in the election, in the democratic process. And in the meantime, we've got all these challenges to this to try and steal that election result, if I may put it that way. So what we saw today basically was the following. ActionSA acted against some of their members. They went through a disciplinary process, and their membership was terminated by ActionSA. So then they informed the city manager that these people are no longer councillors representing ActionSA. Now, there's no way that the speaker or the municipal manager can allow people who no longer has membership of the party, who put them in the council in the first instance, to participate in an election and to vote, well knowing obviously where they're going to vote with the ANC. That's why they've been in trouble with their own party, because they didn't carry the mandate of the party and the coalition. So what the municipal manager should have done is he should have acted. He doesn't have a real discretion in that instance to say, I don't accept this, that or the other. If you look at Section 27 of the Municipal Structures Act, it's very clear that a councillor representing a political party in a proportional seat must be a member of that party. So the party comes along and say, I've gone through the disciplinary process. Yeah. I've terminated your membership. You're no longer a member of the party. You cannot represent the party. You cannot be a councillor, and you cannot have an election with people who are not councillors.
Now, I'm going to pick your brain a bit later in our interview about the EFF's planned national shutdown. But before we go there, prior to today's events in council, members of the multi-party coalition in Tshwane had already expressed concern about the Speaker's decision to even call this municipal council meeting to elect a mayor. And this is on the same day as the ANC march to Tshwane House. Now, this decision has been criticized by some, saying it seems calculated to give somewhat of a political advantage to the ANC-EFF coalition before the highly contested mayoral election. Give us your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that, and there's also no coincidence. The speaker we are talking about is a gentleman representing the ATM. Now, in a council of 214 members, the ATM has got 1 seat, the councillor who's now the speaker. He doesn't have a large support base unless he was elected, and we know how he was elected, with the support vote of the ANC and the EFF. He's got to dance to their tune. Whatever. He's got to do what they want him to do. So the calling of the meeting today as a special council meeting quickly to try and force this election of a mayor, it's no coincidence. It's exactly on the day planned by the ANC for their march, led by their provincial leadership, having the Secretary General of the ANC present. It was supposed to end with a huge success where they defeat the multi-party coalition and they can elect another puppet from their group. That was the whole intention. But unfortunately, we have a rule of law in South Africa, and we have a democracy where you have to stick to the law and to the rules. And we are not going to legitimize an illegitimate meeting by participating with councillors who are no longer councillors. So that's why we made that point. And obviously, in the end, I'm obviously of the view that in the end, the majority elected by the electorate in November 2021, at this stage within the multi-party coalition, will get the mayor elected. We will then bring a motion of no confidence in the puppet speaker and remove him, so that we at once and for all can start to deliver to the residents of the City of Tshwane, to which they are entitled, that service delivery. But currently, it's quite sad what's playing out.
Yeah.
And people understand what's playing out. It's the death throes of an organization called the ANC, trying to hang and cling onto power, but their time is up. They're on their way out, and we all know that.
Also interesting are other developments in council where we saw during the election of the speaker, the DA being accused of improper conduct and also compromising the vote by putting identifiable numbers on the ballot paper. Give us your observations there, and what have you done as a multi-party coalition in response to this?
You see, the problem there is that the intention of a secret ballot is an honourable intention. That's why the Structures Act indicates that when you elect a mayor or a speaker, it should be by way of a secret ballot. And that's a practice where you have a ballot paper, people go into a ballot booth, voting booth, and they vote. And they do so in secret without any interference. So that's the idea behind it. But now we see that the secret ballot has become a cloak for bad things to happen. We've had one councillor of ActionSA who've gone to the police station to lay a charge against another councillor who offered him more than R1 million for his vote. So the secret ballot has become a cloak for corruption, for intimidation, and those kind of things. And the reality is, no councillor in there are there because of themselves. They are there because they represent the electorate who voted for that party. And the party received a mandate because of the position that party took. So, for example, ActionSA made it clear in the election campaign that they don't want to see an ANC win the election in Tshwane. They don't want to have an ANC government or an ANC mayor. So it's not for an individual councillor now to decide, I don't care what the electorate wanted, I'm going to do my own little thing for whatever reason. Because I just think it's nice, because I've been enticed, because I've been bribed, we don't know. It can't happen. I'm against the whole idea of secret ballots. Why shouldn't public representatives, why should they vote in secret? The electorate who voted for them should have that transparency to know where you vote as a representative, and they can keep you to account. And it's amazing that the ANC is fighting for the secret ballot thing in Tshwane, but in Parliament they are fighting absolutely to prevent us from using the same method in secret ballots on motions of no confidence, on Pala, whatever the case may be. It's absolute hypocrisy, and we know that.
Dr. Mulder, before I let you go, of course the big talk of the town is around the EFF's planned shutdown on Monday. The EFF has insisted that it will stage a peaceful protest, but there are concerns that we may see a day of anarchy, similar to what we saw back in July of 2021. Give us your thoughts on what you make of this action for Monday.
Yes, well, first of all, we do have the rule of law, we have a democracy, we have a Bill of Rights. And the right to protest is part of our Bill of Rights, and we all respect that. But your right to protest is not a bigger or a higher right to my right to have my rights also to exercise them. If I've got a business, it's my right to go on with my profession. You can have your protest, but you don't have the right to interfere with my rights as well. My concern with the EFF is, now hear what they are saying, but their track record says the opposite. We see the way that they act, the leadership of the EFF in Parliament. They try to disrupt Parliament. They use democracy to destroy democracy. We see that time and time and again. It's a bit out of date, the whole method of doing that. And I believe that if they really want to have success, convince the electorate that you've got the best ideas. But they haven't succeeded in doing so. They've got 10%. So one out of every 10 people support the EFF in South Africa. So if that's the case, you can't expect the rest of South Africa to intimidate us into your position. And with all due respect, I've heard what the security and the police are saying. If there's any attempt at anarchy or whatever the case may be, the police should act and protect law-abiding citizens. We are not the kind of republic where you can just run roughshod over the rights of other people. You respect that, you operate within the law, convince the people to vote for you, and if you then become the majority, you're the government. But if that's not the case, don't think you're going to intimidate other people into being subservient to your ideals, whatever you think you can do. Forget about that.
That was City of Tshwane multi-party coalition spokesperson, Dr. Corne Mulder, of course, giving us his thoughts around developments in the Tshwane Council, but also speaking about events expected for the EFF's upcoming national shutdown on Monday.